What if I told you one sentence just tore the Las Vegas Aces apart? The team is crumbling, players are walking away, and at the center of it all, A'ja Wilson. Was it a brutal truth or a betrayal? What she said behind the scenes sent shockwaves through the WNBA, and the fallout has been nothing short of disastrous. But here's the real question: did she just destroy her own dynasty? Let's get into it. The Las Vegas Aces had just lost to the New York Liberty in the semifinals. The season was over, tensions were high, and then came the question that sent everything spiraling. A reporter asked if she didn't stop there. A'ja admitted that from the moment training camp started, she knew the team ain't got it. Before the season even began, she had already lost faith. If you're a leader, your MVP doesn't believe in the team, how does that affect everyone else? The Aces' championship dreams weren't the only thing crumbling that night. Their entire culture was breaking apart. So let's break it down. What was A'ja really trying to say? Was she calling out her teammates? Was she exposing a toxic locker room that nobody saw coming? Or was this just a frustrated superstar letting the truth slip out? On the surface, it might seem like just another post-game reaction, but the impact of her words ran deeper than anyone ever expected. She even referenced her legendary college coach Dawn Staley, saying that a championship team should look, sound, and feel a certain way. And clearly, this team didn't. That wasn't just a critique, that was a statement loaded with meaning. It suggested that something fundamental was missing from the Aces: a winning mindset, unity, or maybe even leadership. Coming from the team's biggest star, that kind of criticism doesn't just fade away, it sticks, it spreads, and it makes people start questioning everything. Now put yourself in her teammates' shoes. You just gave everything on the court, you're exhausted, frustrated, and then boom! Your leader, the face of the franchise, basically tells the entire world that this team never had what it takes. That's really gotta stink. Even though she didn't name names, the message was loud and clear. This wasn't a championship team, and some players just weren't cut out for the job. Maybe A'ja thought she was being honest. Maybe she believed she was lighting a fire under a team. But instead, it felt like a public indictment of the entire roster, and it didn't stop there. Once those words were out, the ripple effect was unstoppable. Teammates heard them, fans heard them, other teams heard them. And what followed next? That's when things really started to unravel. It wasn't just words. What happened next was even more telling. Players started leaving fast. Alicia Clark, gone. Kate Martin, gone. Tiffany Hayes, gone. Sydney Colson, out of there. Even Kelsey Plum, one of the biggest stars on the team, packed her bags and just left. This wasn't just a case of a few roster changes, this was a mass exit, the kind you only see when something is seriously wrong behind the scenes. And let's be real, players don't just walk away from a championship team like this. Something deeper was going on, solid and unshakable, but instead of staying together, the Aces were crumbling from the inside out. One bad quote, one fractured team, and now the Aces are barely recognizable. What used to be a powerhouse lineup is now a team scrambling to fill the gaps. Was it just bad timing, or did A'ja's statements push her teammates to their breaking point? Whatever the reason, the damage was done, and now the Aces are picking up the pieces. But just when things couldn't get any messier, the internet did what it does best. It dug up A'ja Wilson's past, and let's just say it made everything even worse. Yep, we're talking tweets from 2012. Now let's be real, A'ja was just a teenager back then, but in the world of social media, nothing truly ever disappears. The moment those old tweets resurfaced, the internet did what it always does. People picked sides and the debate exploded. Some fans rushed to defend her, saying it's unfair to judge a grown woman by something she posted as a kid. After all, who hasn't said something dumb online in their teenage years? But others weren't so forgiving. They argued that being young doesn't erase responsibility, especially when you're a public figure. Screenshots spread, opinions flew, and suddenly, Asia wasn't just dealing with locker room drama, she was facing a full-blown internet storm. And then, she did something nobody expected. She vanished. Social media? Gone. Twitter? Private. Instagram? Locked down. No statements, no explanations, just silence. And if there's one thing the internet hates, it's silence. Instead of calming things down, her disappearing act only made people more curious. Why go private if there's nothing to hide? Now, Asia wasn't just in the middle of a WNBA controversy, she was the main character of the internet's latest drama. And once the internet locks onto a story, it doesn't let go easily. But here's the situation. It isn't just about Asia Wilson anymore. This is about the entire WNBA. Let's be honest, the league is growing faster than ever. More fans, more media coverage, more money coming in. Players are getting the kind of attention they've never had before. But here's the real question. Are they actually ready for it? Because so far, the answer seems to be no. Where's the media training? Where's the PR support? Where's the guidance on how to handle the spotlight? NBA players get coached on handling reviews, dealing with controversy, and managing their public image. But in the WNBA, it feels like these players are being thrown into the deep end with no life vest. One wrong statement, one resurfaced tweet, and suddenly careers are on the line. This isn't just about Asia Wilson. It's about every WNBA star who will face the same level of scrutiny moving forward. The league wants its players to be big-time athletes, but are they giving them the tools to survive in a world that dissects everything they say and do? Because if this situation proves anything, it's that the WNBA needs to step up. They need better media training, better PR teams, and a plan to help their athletes navigate this level of exposure. But right now, they're not ready, and if they don't fix it soon, Asia Wilson won't be the last player caught in a storm like this. But while the WNBA struggles to handle this mess, there's one team that's already feeling the consequences: the Las Vegas Aces. Their roster is almost unrecognizable. So now, the question is, can they recover, or is this the beginning of the end? The Las Vegas Aces were supposed to be a dynasty, back-to-back champions, a super team built to dominate for years. But now, they've lost almost everybody. The roster that once struck fear into the league has been gutted, and what's left is barely recognizable. Let's break it down. Who's still standing? Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, and that's it. 2 players from a championship squad. And let's be real, that's not enough. A team that was once overflowing with talent is now scrambling to stay competitive. It's like watching a luxury sports car lose its engine and trying to race with just the wheels. Chelsea Gray is a legend, no doubt, but in 2025, she's not the same player she once was. Age, injuries, and the natural wear and tear of the game have taken a toll. She's still a veteran presence, but can she really carry a team that's lost nearly all of its key pieces? That's a tough task. The Aces went from being the team to beat to struggling to fill a starting lineup. And the real question is, where do we go from here? Do they try to rebuild from the ground up, hoping to find new stars? Or is this the beginning of a long, painful demise? But Asia Wilson is one of the biggest names in the WNBA. A champion, an MVP, a superstar. She's been the face of the league, the heart of the Las Vegas Aces, and one of the most dominant players in the game. But after everything that's happened, can she really recover from all of it? Did she just destroy her own team with one sentence? Or was she being just brutally honest about what was really happening behind the scenes? Some will say that she spoke the truth, that great players demand greatness. Others will argue that leadership is about lifting teammates up, not tearing them down. Regardless of which side you're on, one fact remains: her words changed everything. The Aces' locker room was shaken, the roster was torn apart, and now Asia finds herself in a position she's never been in before, facing doubt, scrutiny, and a future that's more uncertain than ever. One thing's for sure though, this story isn't over. The Aces will have to rebuild, the WNBA will have to adjust, and A'ja Wilson will have to prove whether she can rise above the controversy and lead again. But the real question is, how does she move forward from here? Will she embrace the role of the villain, or will she find a way to regain the trust of her teammates and fans? Only time will tell. So now, I want to hear from you guys. Did A'ja Wilson go too far, or was she just keeping it real? Drop a comment below and let me know what you think. But while all eyes are on A'ja Wilson, there's another duo making waves in the WNBA. DeWanna Bonner and Caitlin Clark were recently spotted in the gym together, and let's just say it has fans talking. What does this mean for their upcoming season? Let's break it down.